just bought this wrecked 991.2 GT3RS, and now let's see if we can rebuild it. This GT3RS behind us doesn't drive, and you might be wondering how we got it up on the trailer. Well, the dismantler used a forklift to put it on the trailer. We don't have a forklift here, so we're trying to figure out a way on how we can get this thing off the trailer. There's no front right wheel. The front left wheel is buried up in the fenders, and it's pretty much the same story for the rear. We're gonna be using an engine hoist to wrap around the front crash support, lift this up, and then tie a winch to the back of the car and try to lower it down onto the ground. So the car is currently in park. It's not allowing the rear wheels to roll. So we're gonna hook a jump pack up to the battery, and we're gonna try to get this car to go into neutral, because it does still run, allegedly. Look at the dash, come here. Release parking brake. It's on, but it won't release. Oh, it's off. There. It's off. All right. Yep. My God. All right, good. Oh my God, you're good. Holy hell. Can't believe that worked.
I'm excited. It's been a while.
You're excited for a car?
I'm excited for a car.
Wow.
It's been a while. I like the crash builds the most.
1, 2, 3.
Whoa. Oh my God.
That sounds slow. Okay, TJ. I did it slow. I just cracked it. That was Calvin's fault. I can't wait to see the underside of this car. Yeah, send her. We'll look underneath. Let's do it. Yeah, I'm down. This is by far the worst crash we've ever had in this shop, and it's painful to see such a beautiful car that we all know and love be in such distress. But that is not gonna define the future of this car. We're determined to take the worst crashed vehicle we've ever purchased and give it a new life. So this GT3RS is definitely the most daunting project we've ever taken on, and I really wanted to step it up because you guys wanted to see something even crazier than what we've done before. So I purchased this, and now seeing it, it's definitely way crazier and way more difficult and much more scary than I thought it would be, but we're gonna do our best to save this car. But I want to, before we go into it, I wanna talk about how much I bought this car for, because I think it was a good steal, and it's kind of what helped push me over the edge to buy this. Now in 2019, GT3RS goes for around $250,000 to $275,000. These things are still very expensive, and they differ a lot from the .1 to .2 because the motors are actually different, and the .2s also come with different interior, updated PCM, and they also have the option for a WiSec package. One of the most compelling reasons as to why I ended up purchasing this car is because I was told the car still runs and drives. Now, before we get into it and start diving into this car, we'll see how much of the body is actually savable. The engine and drivetrain alone combined on a used market come in just at around $60,000. Now, I bought this car for just a little over 60, coming in at $62,000, and then what it took to ship it here. Now stay with me here. This is my TJ logic. The engine and trans alone are worth what I paid for it. The GT3RS market for used parts is pretty big, and it's very, very pricey. These bucket seats right here, you can find these things all day, anywhere from $15,000 to $20,000. This car is opted with the carbon ceramics, which all 4 of these come in at a price point just around the $15,000 mark. Now the interior on this car, I actually have no idea how much it's worth. The steering wheel is smoked, the dash is still good, the door cards are good, all the Alcantara parts are still good, and there's a roll cage, which is at least a few $1,000s. So, in my head, I was like, it's a steal. We're getting an engine and a transmission and a bunch of surplus on top of that. It's definitely the worst car we ever had in the shop, and I am a little bit nervous about it. Before we get too much farther, we really wanna see if this thing runs and drives. Now, I'll put the car up on the lift so you guys can see underneath it, and these were photos that I did ask for before purchasing the car. I reached out to a couple Porsche friends and I was just like, hey, I'm looking at this car, what are your thoughts? Please let me know. And the first thing that they recommended that we ask photos of is the underside of the engine and check the engine casting just to make sure there's no cracks, There's nothing that looks broken because odds are, if the casting looks good, the engine is gonna be perfectly fine. So it looks like this guy did have an exhaust on the car, and judging by the harnesses that he had inside the car, it looks like he liked to hoon around a bit, which is good. That means this car had a good life before finding its graveyard here, but we're here to bring it back. So the first thing that I want to do is I want to at least take off this undercarriage panel right here and try to get a better sight on the engine. From the original photos that we got underneath it, the thing looked pretty together. There wasn't any cracks, any real damage that was too gnarly. It looked like the catback exhaust really absorbed most of the rear damage. So we're gonna take this off, get a better look, and we'll check it out together. Ooh, that's covered. I'll be honest, I wasn't expecting to see oil on the underside of that. Look at that. Oh yeah, please, thank you so much.
Wow.
Stopped right there.
I cracked this, the bracket between the motor plate and the engine. Oh yeah, it just sheared that.
Yeah, it's an oiling of some sort.
Is this dry sump?
It is a dry sump.
We can try and pump it over.
Put a bucket underneath it and just catch all the...
Yeah, like honestly, pull the fuel pump relay or something like that, and then just like see if we can try and fire it up and see how much comes out to start. That's the top post to the bushing, right?
Oh, that's
Here's
motor
the
mount.
motor plate or whatever you want to call it, and then the motor mount, and just pulled the rubber, pulled it out of the rubber isolator. So it actually just lifted. It didn't pull it up. It lifted the frame away from the motor plate. Exhaust for sale, pretty cheap.
Oh, it's a soul exhaust.
Me. That's the block. Okay, so here's what it's supposed to look like. Frame rail to fender tub, right? Now let's just go cruise on over here and look at it not look like that.
Oh, your hat got smoked.
Ah, you pulled a Dylan.
Full of Dylan. Speaking of this hat, we are currently giving away our Mark IV Supra, which you guys saw us build about a week and a half ago. And we are currently going as fast as we can to get your orders out, because every $1 you spend gets you one entry towards winning our Mark IV Supra. And Hunt & Co. just dropped a plethora of brand new things, from shirts to long sleeves to sweatshirts to jet tags to keychains. Anything that you could want merchandise related to the car world, we got. And I just smoked my hat, so let's go ahead and grab myself a new one. So if you guys haven't already entered to win the Mark IV Supra, click the links down below and head over to thehuntandcompany.com to go ahead and get your chances to take home our Mark IV Supra.
Was this thing flooded?
Oh. The
So-
whole entire underside.
So this one, I don't know if you can tell, it's a little different. And then also kind of doing these lines. They're not compromised, they're not leaking. But if you want to look up in here, I don't think that's really...
yeah, no strut tower blown through, which is actually a very common thing with 911.
Really?
911s blow through the struts all the time in crashes. Here's the sad part, is we wanted to start this car today, but with the oiling system having a big gash in it, we don't know if it's gonna be building pressure or do anything, but what we will do is we can go ahead and lower it. We'll key on the car and we'll just like see what it says. I don't know if we're gonna start it. And remember when I said there was no castings that were broken? Looks like I was wrong. Let's lower the car, get in it, put the key in, put a battery on the battery box, and let's see what happens. Oh, great, there's more. Should we throw this in all the orders for everyone who places a Hunt & Co. order? We'd have enough, we could just shred it up into pieces. First things first, the key to get power to this. We'll put a little jump box to it. Do we have the key? It's probably in the car.
It was in the ignition last time I saw it.
I'm ready. I'm all strapped in. Is something wrong with the car?
Oh, yeah, harness is nice. I think the battery's just absolutely fine.
No way I'm taking 2 back-to-back L's, right? Give away my 911? I'm just kidding. Where am I? Yeah. Oh. Wow, only 5,000 miles. That's super, super low. I kind of want to crank it.
Just be ready to immediately shut it off. Dude. Nah. I hated that, but cool, we're good.
Oh, that's very smoky. Give me that.
Oh, are we hold on. Is oil coming out of this hole here?
Smells like oil. Oh my god.
Well, there's so much This has probably been sitting here for so long.
The rattle noises too were concerning, but also too, everything's in pieces.
Honestly, hear me out on this. If we order that tube and then replace it, and then seal the oiling system, we can double check the fluid level and then try and start it.
If you took the universe and you put it in a tube, you wouldn't want to put the universe in a tube.
I'm just gonna tell everyone right now, that's Tim and Eric. Just so I don't look like some kind of nerd that I don't know Tim and Eric.
Oh, man. We can't safely run it.
No.
We can't safely run it.
I'm even upset that we did that, but we did it, and it's already here. So it starts and turns over, so that's cool.
Any damage that would have been done, they would have already ran it.
It would have been done when they started it.
So that, if it was damaged, it was already I don't want to buy an engine.
No, I don't want you to buy an engine either.
I bought this car intending to not buy an engine.
So unfortunately, we can't remove the key. So now we have to...
We can because there's no battery in it now.
Okay, I don't know Porsches at all.
Here's our plan of attack. When we started it, it sounded a little scary. It sounded like a bag of rocks in the back. I'm gonna optimistically think that the reason why it was so rattly is because the whole rear end of the car is just in pieces and vibration can sound very scary. But also at the same time, let's think about it being the worst case scenario. And let's say that the car, when it crashed, there was no internal engine damage and the engine was fine, but when it went to a dismantler and they went to turn it on to see if it ran, they never noticed that the oil line was broken, so they ran it for who knows how long, or maybe they ran it for a minute, and maybe it potentially had a loss of oil pressure, built up a lot of friction, and maybe some parts of the internal of the engine are damaged and could potentially be floating around in there like a universe in a tube. So if that's the case, we need to drain the oil and to see what the oil looks like. If we see fragments of metal or just metallic flakes in the oil, that's going to be extremely concerning. I'm going to hope that the oil is not going to be too black, considering there's only 5,000 miles on this car. That could be a full life cycle of oil. Hopefully they change this oil at one point in time, therefore leading me to believe that the oil is not going to be too gross, so we can actually see what's inside. And then I think, just to be extra cautious, we should pull the engine out of the car just to see what it looks like exteriorly. Through the photos that we saw, the casting looked good, but there is casting that is broken. Is that casting fixable? Can we weld something on it? Maybe call Porsche Magic Friend and see what he says. But I think we should drain the oil and start disassembling everything we can from the back of the car just to get a better look at what we're really dealing with and not run this car or this engine again until we know that it's gonna be safe.
Just looking at this thing a lot more, even just sitting here within 2 feet of my face, I'm like, I don't know about any of this.
The chassis is really questionable at this point.
It's just getting
worse
the more we sit here.
Which at that point opens a whole different discussion. But this chassis is really rough. The interior is, dude, astonishingly pretty good. Considering this is the only airbag, I think this and the foot airbag went off.
There's a foot airbag?
That blows my mind how all the curtain airbags didn't go off. Okay, let's drain the oil and see what we find out, boy. We're gonna be looking for any type of metal shavings within the oil reflecting back off the light. And with the dry sump, there are multiple drain plugs, so we're gonna go around each one and reveal what is behind each drain. Oh! We're now gonna move on to the oil filter because you can actually rip these things apart and check for shavings within the filter himself. It just requires some gentle persuasion to open the filter, and then it reveals the paper which we will be inspecting for metal shavings.
I'm gonna say you're good, dude. There's not like a remnant of any kind of metallic flake on any of these. Yeah, you'd see it in these folds, but
that's a good sign though, that's a good sign.
So far so good.
Now we gotta move on to the fun part, which is taking everything apart. So I believe we're gonna focus in the rear first, try to get the exhaust off, take the wheels off, start draining what fluids are left in the car, and get this engine out.
I'm gonna host Tej. Before Tuan could catch him, TJ was like, there's no drive shaft.
I forgot, well I was looking for the transmission. I'm like, where's the transmission?
I wonder where.
Does that mean we dropped the subframe with the trans and the engine?
Yep.
That's a first. The engine is getting pretty close to dropping. We have a few more things to remove. Right now we're just taking off the brake lines to the caliper, but we've already gotten off all the suspension arms. A lot of the subframe has been loosened already, so we can get ready to drop it. And there is a little bit of movement on the engine. I don't have the strength to do it, but Dylan did. We're almost there.
Am I squirting super hard?
No. Oh, yeah,
whoa!
Oh, dude, it like shoots up like a stream.
Oh, Calvin.
Everywhere.
Look at this, Ready for it? Oh. Here's that for you. You want that? You're gonna definitely reuse that one. There you go. Up.
Yeah, you're
Yep, keep going. Okay, hold on. Go for it. All the way. All the way. Keep going.
And this is what $60,000 looks like.
This?
This. Look at how torqued
Yeah.
the frame is from here.
Opening right there.
Smoked. Chassis is 100% written off. No questions asked.
Come over here.
Oh
Just
my.
to see the other side of it.
Just tears
There's
the
that right
whole
there.
way through.
Here, grab a.
We want to take this plate off now?
Yeah, grab a 16.
I'm really scared to look behind this.
This is cracked right here.
This is cracked. Can we take that off?
Should be able to.
And these studs.
Wallowed. Absolutely not. Oh, my bad. Sorry about that.
That one looks fine.
This is fine, right? Yeah, you're good.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay. I mean, someone theoretically can weld a bung onto this
But
And
look at
then-
these studs are like walked.
up by like a ½ inch.
The bottom of this pan looks okay, but like that's scary. That is scary. That, I mean, can be fixed.
I mean, the
that
subframe.
attaches to the motor, and that goes to the motor mounts up here. I'll send some photos to my magic friends and see what they say. But that's definitely not what we were hoping for.
This all looks like a 5,000 mile RS motor.
We're good. Hit the gas. 1 sec. Hold up. Stop.
Okay. Yep.
Sick.
Trans looks good.
Trans looks okay. It's just this section.
Yeah. So this axle, the engine mounts, the coil pack cover. This subframe's so toast.
Subframes are cheap. Trying to see if it's like
Well, it has to come out no matter what.
bending the aluminum.
I'm just trying to assess how much the threads are salvageable or damaged, or what we have to do to drill it out and weld in a bung, or you know what I mean? Because like I'm definitely not a fabricator, but I feel like you could drill that out, take a threaded bung, or re-weld that and drill it and tap it. Same with this, same with that. So there's ways to salvage it. I don't see any cracking on that one. Although this part is wallowed, but that's because it got bent up into it. This one, the threads are so deep that they're fine. So it's just this casing right here. So I feel like if we drilled that and cracked that. That one, the threads are good too. It's just that piece. You know what I'm saying?
This is the one that scares me the most.
I'm not scared about that one the least. This is the one that scares me the most because it's not there. This is actually a replaceable bracket right here.
Yeah, this plunge plate.
Yeah, this little accessory pulley bracket. That's all replaceable. We could actually get a new one of these.
And then this bracket that was broken right here was actually just a plate. So we might be able to just replace that, extract that, and then that should still functionally work.
Yeah, the only two that are cast into the block are these two.
Yeah.
So I feel better. Feeling better.
So it's time for us to do some reaching out to see who can help us with the back of the block. And from what I think and what I've been getting feedback from other people that I trust, we need to put some aluminum on it, grind it, tap it. Still should be okay, is what we're hoping. Now, the next thing we're gonna have to do is a compression test and a leak down test, which we will be doing. That's gotta happen next, but let's talk about a completely different set of problems, and that's the fact that this chassis is 100% written off. And I had a suspicion that this might be the case. It wasn't the hardest guess to make. I've made some very poor decisions in things that I've bought online that you guys know, but this one I had a plan for. So although this chassis I think is zeroed out, it is no good. This time I did have something up my sleeve. Now I'll see you guys in the next episode where we're gonna tackle on the next big problem. Thank you guys so much for watching. Peace out and keep moving forward. All right, I want to give a little shout out to a couple of you guys for placing some orders. We have Oswaldo Godnez from Kentucky. If I butchered your name, I'm terribly sorry. Next one going out right now is going to Josh Dinkelaker, Loveland, Ohio. That's a pretty cool city name. We have a little fatty package right here going out to Patrick Wibbles, Kentucky. Another Kentucky order? We have a lot of people ordering the hats. Let's see who ordered this hat. This hat is going to Bjorn Erik Assen. This is going to Norway. That's pretty far. You're watching from Norway, dog? That's crazy. Thank you. We have another one here going to Jeffrey Sabato. This is going to a place that I don't even know how to pronounce that place, but it's definitely international. Another fatty patty order going to Joseph Lambert, North Carolina. A lot of East Coast people. Last fatty package, giving a little shout out. We're going to Tomika Robinson, going to Maryland. Well, damn. Orders are going out as fast as we can do it. You guys have been slamming the giveaway, and I can't wait to meet whoever wins this Supra, as you're about to have the fastest car out of all your friends. I'll see you guys in the next vid.